Hi guys and welcome to today's video. So today's video I'm going to be answering the assumptions that you guys have about me. So I've seen this all over YouTube, loads of YouTubers have been making these videos, so I wanted to do a horse edition one because obviously I am an equine YouTuber mainly. So I thought this would be interesting. So basically I just put on my Instagram asking you guys what assumptions you have made about me. They can be good, they can be bad, and I'm going to let you know if they're correct, if they're not correct, you know, why you might have come to that assumption, but basically it could get interesting. So let's see what you guys have assumed. Meg Equestrian assumed that I don't like to jump high. I guess this one's kind of right because I'm not the most confident jumper because I haven't really done jumping a lot. I've competed in show jumping a little when I was younger, but I did mainly dressage and showing because I never had the right horse to show jump, which was the entire reason we bought Chilli. So I used to show jump Taffy, but he always stag leaped and he always kind of wanted to do his own thing. And so it was always a bit of a battle with him, so he kind of knocked my confidence a lot because I tended to come off him when we were jumping, especially when it came to competing, because he got overexcited and would stag leap things, and I was only about 12 and I just couldn't sit to him, and he was really strong. So we bought Chilli because I actually love jumping. I think it's one of the best feelings in the world, just completing a course. So I really enjoy jumping. I don't particularly like jumping really high. I have jumped, I think my highest is 1.30 m. Yeah, I think 1.30 m might be the highest I've ever jumped. I have jumped a lot of jumps that I don't know the height of, so there may be some that are taller than that. So I will jump high, but I'm not particularly comfortable jumping big. So yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I'll give you that one. So George_.08 said, the chickens are your least favourite pet. This I can agree on. This assumption is very correct. I like them. There's no animal I dislike, but they just annoy me because they constantly get in the way. All they seem to do is poo. They're actually the only animal that actually gives us anything in terms of produce on the farm, but they just annoy me. They're just not nice animals. I believe it's because they're ex-battery, so they've been raised in really not very nice circumstances, so I can't, blame them, but at the same time they're just not very friendly, and they never will be. They're definitely my dad's thing. I'm not really involved with that. Ellie.and.poppy, you don't really care whether you look pretty riding or not. When it comes to videos, I always try and put an outfit together, but in terms of looking pretty, it's really not on the agenda of priorities. Sometimes I'll upload a video and I know either my riding is horrific because everyone has those days, or I just look a mess, but I don't really care. I would have back in the day when I first started YouTube and I was very self-conscious, but now I don't care. So yeah, you're probably correct on that. I don't really mind if I look pretty or not particularly. I tried to make an effort for YouTube, but as for normal riding, and if I'm not filming a video for YouTube, I will literally ride in my gym leggings and a t-shirt, so I really don't care. So a couple of people have assumed that I'm very organised. I like to think I am, but in reality I am not. So I love planners and organising, but I go through periods of I will be really organised and have everything ready and sorted, and I like to be a bit of a control freak, and then I'll go through periods where my life is just a complete mess. I don't know what day it is, what's happening, and then I'm not organised at all. And I think if you asked my parents or my boyfriend if I'm an organised person, they'd say yes and no, because I am, but I'm not at the same time. Like, it depends. And when it comes to YouTube, there have been days when I've done these daily vlogs and I have not been organised at all, and I've got to 10 o'clock at night and I've been like, I still haven't edited, I still haven't done a thumbnail, I don't even know if my footage is good enough. Or there've been days when I've got like late afternoon and been like, right, I need to film a Q&A now because I've literally not filmed all day. So I'd say no, maybe I'm not that organised. I think I am in my head, but I think in reality I'm not really that organised. So Giddy Up CD has said, you seem like a very motivated and disciplined person. I am highly motivated. I think it's because of the family I have. So a lot of my family have their own thing, and I've always been told, you know, you have to have goals and you have to hit those goals and you have to work towards those goals. So I'm very much I'm one of these people that I'm never satisfied. Like, I always have to get to the next thing, and I reach one thing and then I'm right on to the next thing. So I would say I'm very motivated in that sense. Disciplined, yes, I guess. That's kind of a hard one. I am quite strict with myself and I like to be in a routine, but then at the same time I can easily fall out of that. So it is, I wouldn't say I'm disciplined, but I would say I'm motivated. So sorry I can't say the username, but they said you can draw like an artist. I did GCSE art and I thought I was amazing and I wasn't. I can draw if I put effort into it. I'm better at painting. I have one drawing in my room that I've done that I guess I can show you. It's not very good. It's literally, it took me 5 minutes. So I'll let you guys be the judge of whether I can draw or not. I'll show you this. Hold up. So I did this when I was revising at uni one day, and this is my cat drawing. It's very like the photo actually. If I can find the photo, I'll add that in. But yeah, that's like the only quick sketch I have anywhere near me. But yeah, I did do GCSE art. I didn't take it at A-level because I wasn't good enough, but I can draw, but I wouldn't say I'm necessarily good. Let me know in the comments below if you think I am. Oh, so this is interesting. So someone has assumed that I will become a trainer. So this was something I considered doing. So I was planning on doing my BHS levels for teaching, and doing my stages and everything. But I haven't, and I also did an equine masters. So I did it in equine sport, what was it now? Equine sport and welfare, something like that. So that was what I did my equine masters in. It was a really long title. So I could have gone into training kind of that way. I think I'd be good at it because I'm good with people and I've worked in riding schools before, so I have a lot of background in that, but I don't have any qualifications in it. I'm sure I could get some if I put the time and effort into it, but I know it's such a difficult job and it's, you know, grueling work and the pay isn't great, and I just, like, I'm sure I'd enjoy it, but I don't know if that's the route I'll go down. I am still kind of deciding what job I want. I am going more towards dietitian side, and I also want my own business, but I don't know what in yet, but I have got a few little plans, so we will see. But yeah, I don't think training is going to be for me. Equi.Darcy said, you only bought Chilli to get more views on YouTube. No, Chilli wasn't my idea at all, and I don't think he's given me any more views, particularly because he doesn't do anything because of his allergies. But no, Chilli was actually my mum's idea. My mum wanted another horse. We kind of decided, because I was show jumping at uni, so I was riding for a show jumper, that I wanted to jump at home, and my mum wanted a horse because she decided Danny was, you know, retired and she wanted a horse to compete on, and Lucy, whilst good at dressage, was never going to go up the levels as much as my mum wants to, so hence we got Chilli. So that was the reason for buying him. So another person's assumed that I like change. Yes, I do. I don't like doing the same thing over and over. I'm not a person who's scared of change per se, and I like to constantly be doing new things. I like to travel and see new places. I like just like, I switch it up a lot, and I do really like change, so that is very much correct. So someone's assumed that I've jumped 1 metre on Charlie. Literally impossible on that horse. I've jumped Charlie twice, I think, and when I say jumped, I mean I've put up a jump and ridden him towards it, but Charlie just goes through it. He does it on the lunge, he does it if you lead him over it, and he does it if you're on his back. So yeah, Charlie doesn't jump. So someone has assumed you love Lucy and Caramel the most, but you don't like Chilli because he has allergies. So I'd say I love all my horses the same, but I probably have the biggest soft spot for Chilli. If I had to choose a favourite, he would probably just be my favourite. So your assumption is wrong, but and also Caramel is definitely way down on the list in terms of the horses I like at the minute, because she has been a nightmare recently, but that's just like, I don't dislike my horses, I love them all. Sometimes like they annoy me, and so it depends how they're acting, and it depends how they've been recently as to whether they're my favourite or not. Like sometimes I'll spend the day with Charlie and I'll absolutely love him because he is my baby, and I'll just be like, oh, you're such a good boy, you are my favourite. And then the next day he'll be an absolute nightmare and I'll be like, you're no longer the favourite. So they like have a little lead table, and it changes each day depending on how they've been. Someone's assumed that I like doing my nails. Yes, I do. I always normally have acrylics on, so like false nails. At the minute I have boy hands because I can't get my nails done because of lockdown, and it's kind of killing me. A lot of people ask me how the hell I manage to do the horses and things with nails. I actually find it a lot easier because my natural nails break. I can't paint them or anything, and I like having like coloured nails. I don't like them natural because like I can't paint them because they chip constantly. So I literally just have to have like boring short nails. But if I have acrylics, they don't chip, they stay on, so my nails don't break. Like even when they're really short, my nails break because of the horses. So having acrylics, it means my nails don't break. They actually look nice, and I actually find it a lot easier with them. So yeah, I do really like having my nails done, and I can't wait for lockdown to be over so I can go and get them done again. So a few people have put this one, that I actually hate riding and that my mum makes me ride. No, I think my mum would actually prefer if I didn't ride, because she's sick of me being in accidents and having to pick me up from A&E. But no, I absolutely love riding. Even when I've not been at home and my mum's not had anything to do with my riding, I rode at university. I probably rode at university and was at my best ability when I wasn't at home and riding, because I find at home, because it's at home, I don't push myself that much. Like, it sounds daft, but I ride other people's horses better than my own. I think I just get complacent with mine and I know them inside out, whereas when you stick me on someone else's horse, I like know I have to ride a certain way and things like that. So yeah, I definitely ride because I just love it, and I don't ride because my mum does it, but my mum does ride, and she's pretty much been my instructor my entire life, and she is an amazing rider, and I'd love to be as good as her. Okay, so many people have assumed that I am rich or that I'm wealthy. I think obviously living on a farm, owning 6 horses, you've got to have some money to do that. Like, you can't be broke and own 6 horses. I mean, you can be broke because of 6 horses, but if you didn't have money, you couldn't afford to buy 6 horses. So obviously we have money in terms of we're not like poor, because, you know, we can afford them and our horses don't go without or anything. I wouldn't say we're rich. Like, if someone said to me, think of something that's rich, I'd be like, you know, you drive a Aston Martin or, you know, a really fancy car. and I drive an Audi A1, so it's definitely not rich, but we're not like bad off. I work 40 hours a week, so I work really hard for my money when I'm not on lockdown, and my family own a business, which is how they get their income. So, you know, we're all very hard working, and it's just a case of work hard and earn money, really. But I wouldn't say we're rich particularly. So someone's assumed that I want to have loads of horses all my life. No, I don't. I don't actually think having lots of horses is particularly always a good thing. Like, I absolutely adore my horses and I'd never get rid of any of them, but I don't particularly enjoy having 6 horses because I think it'd be better to just have, you know, like 2 or 3 or maybe even 1. If I could like have 1 horse that would do everything, then that would be preferable for me than having 6. I love them all and I would never ever ever get rid of or change any of my horses, but having 6 horses means that you spend so much time doing other things that aren't riding. So I spend so much time mucking out and grooming and feeding and everything like that, that riding is like the least important thing. There's so many things that I have to do in a day just for my horses, like welfare and like their daily routine, that I have so much of that to get through before I can even think about riding. So I think actually it would be really nice, and I found this at uni when I had 1 lone horse. It was really nice to be able to concentrate all my energy on 1 horse, because it meant I sort of got to progress quickly with 1 horse, whereas like having, you know, a few that I ride, you're kind of progressing slowly with each horse rather than like, you know, putting all your energy into 1. And obviously all my horses, my mum helps me with as well, so it's not like I've just got 6 to deal with on my own. And they obviously all get the attention and everything they deserve, but I think actually having fewer horses is better than having loads. So this is a bit of a different one. Someone's assumed that I want children young. No, I don't. I want to travel the world, set up my own business, and just generally be successful in life and have dogs. And then I'll worry about kids later on. If I have kids, it will definitely be like later on in my life. I'm in no rush whatsoever to have children. I'm not very maternal and I'm not like great with like babies or anything. So yeah, that's just not something I'm interested in right now. So these are going to be the last few, guys. So someone has assumed that I'm a very confident rider. This is very untrue. I'm not that confident. I used to be when I was younger, and then I've had 2 really bad accidents. So I broke and dislocated my shoulder, and then I got kicked in the face and broke my face. So ever since then I haven't been very confident, especially on horses that are likely to set off with me. You'll notice when I go into canter and things like that, so like a faster pace, I go forwards. So this is actually my brain doing that. Like, I don't do it, like it's a subconscious reaction, because when you have a trauma, you go into the fetal position as a form of protection. So that's what my brain does. So every time I go into canter, or every time my horse like moves forward suddenly, my natural reaction, and actually anyone's reaction who's had a trauma associated with that, is to go forwards and into myself, and it's a way of protecting yourself. So you actually go into the fetal position. So I actually have to fight that every single time I kind of pick up a pace. And that's why you might notice that sometimes if I'm having a day when I'm not feeling confident, I'll ride very forward, like as in forward in my seat, or when I'm warming up I can be quite forward, and that's why it's actually due to my confidence and like existing trauma. I am going to do a complete series on like why I lost my confidence, how I regained it, because I am so much more confident now. I actually had like therapy, and I even like rode a mechanical horse because I was so scared of getting on a real horse. and I had like, I can't remember what they called it, but I had lessons and like a specific instructor for confidence. It wasn't really anything to do with my riding, it was just about getting confidence back. So I am going to do a video all on that, but I want to get my riding story video done first because that will kind of go nicely after that. So there are 2 videos I will be working on soon. But yeah, I'm not a very confident rider. If I get on someone else's horse, I'm perfect. Like, I will literally get on the world's craziest horse and ride it, and I'll just get on with it. But if I'm on my own horse, it's like I have too much time to think, and I will just have some days where I don't feel confident and I'll ride unconfidently. There'll be some days where I just don't ride because I'm like, there's no point, I'm not feeling confident, I'm not feeling like it, I'm just going to go and try another day. And then there are some days where I'm like, yeah, I can do this. You know, stick a jump up, we're going to canter around the arena, I'll take them out galloping on the stubble. There are some days where I'm like super confident, and there's some days where my confidence is 0. But I will make a video on that soon. Okay, so I've had this a couple of times and a few people have assumed I'm tall. I am not. I am very small and very petite, so I am only 5'2", and that's a bit of a nightmare with riding because if you're taller it seems to be easier, and especially because I own a 17-hand horse and I'm 5'2", and those 2 things just don't go very well. But yeah, so I am not tall, I'm actually really short. So the last assumption that I'm going to address is that you're different on and off camera. Love you loads. Thank you, love you too. I would say I am different off camera. I think everyone is. I think you have a camera persona, and like I don't think you can be 100% yourself if you're putting it on camera. Like, I try to be as real and as myself as I can, but like there's certain things that I'll say off camera that I wouldn't say on camera. Like, at the end of the day, I'm 22, I turned 23 this month, and my audience is generally younger than that, so I have to kind of change a little bit to suit that audience. I don't know. I should like have someone with me to like answer this question. I think I probably say I'm quite an outgoing person in real life, but I think I'm extra outgoing on camera, or maybe the other way around, I don't really know. There are definitely subtle differences between me on and off camera, but yeah, there is definitely a difference, but I think there's always going to be. Okay, so I'm going to end this video here. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who left an assumption. I also just quickly want to say thank you to everyone who left me some really, really lovely assumptions. They were so nice to read. So guys, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that bell icon so that you get a notification every time I post. I won't see you tomorrow because it's Sunday, but I will see you every other day of the week at 12 PM. So bye guys.